What's going on, guys? My name's Tyler Hawkins, the owner and operator of Hawkins Investment Strategy, and I'm going to go over a storage facility I recently just sold to an investor of mine. And this is a strategic advantage of overpaying for storage when it does make sense. So let's get started. Let's go over the details of it all, and just know the owner was asking too much for the property and it really wasn't making sense, but we found a way that it made perfect sense. So let's get started. So the property details. The owner was asking 1.1 million for the storage facility. It sat on 6 acres. There was 4 acres undeveloped, so there was a lot of value to be added. It had 87 storage units on it, and it was made up of 2 buildings. It was 100% occupied, and the rents were way below the market rents. It was only netting at the end of the day $42,900, which does not correlate to his asking price, but we did see the value that you could add to the property to one day it be worth way more than 1.1 million. So we play with our numbers a good bit just to see like what kind of exit strategy we could come up with and see if we can make a creative type of offer that made sense for everybody. One of the key things here is that the owner already had site plans approved by the county to build the next day after my investor purchased the property to start building those 3 storage facilities and the outdoor storage. And after doing the pro forma, it looked like you could bring in 14,000 to 17,000 per month, and that's only including the storage. That's not including the outdoor storage. So here's a picture of it, sitting on 6 acres, and you can see all the land right here that we can develop. A lot of value. Right there, it's only 2 buildings. It's really not that big, but definitely a great lot. So our offer was $650,000 for the property with what it was currently bringing in, and then our value that we saw. But the owner was so firm on the 1.1 million, and he had a lot of issues going on in life. He had medical bills, he was trying to retire, and a few other issues that were arising in his life. So we had to come up creative because we really wanted to make this deal work. But what I wanted to do first was go to the bank and see exactly what it would be if I were to get a loan for $650,000, how much it would be that we paid the interest and principal at the end of the loan. So that's exactly what we did. So our bank term was 650,000, a down payment of 20%, interest rate of 6.5, amortized over 30 years, a monthly payment of 3,255, and an all-in payment at the end of the day after the 30 years, we would have paid $1.17 million for the property. So I came up with an idea with the investor and suggested, what if you were to do a burst strategy in 5 years? The reason in 5 years is because the owner, we started talking about seller financing terms, and he was only willing to go 5 years. So I put together a short little plan for my investor, and we did a pro forma, and it really started to make sense. So year 1 would be to develop the buildings and do the outdoor storage, $500,000, which he has cash to do so and did not need a loan for that. And then year 2 to 5 was to stabilize everything and bring everything up to the current rents, market rents. And year 5, we would have a projected conservative income of $200,000, and that's at 90% occupied plus outdoor storage, and we would net around $152,000, which is ultimately a massive jump from $42,000, what it was currently bringing in. So year 5 too was to refinance it, and we will get to that in the next few slides. So breaking down the deal. So right here is the terms that I was able to work with the owner was 1.1 million, 350,000 down, seller financing, which what he was going to hold he was going to hold a loan of 750,000, interest rate of 0%, and that was key to this whole deal. We basically looked at the purchase price as if the interest was built in, and that's kind of how we sold it to the owner to make this deal work. We amortized it over 20 years. That's what made our numbers work out as well when doing the pro forma. And the balloon payment in 5 years and a monthly payment of 3,125, which was actually better than the bank loan. And the all-in payment, as you can see, was 1.17 here, and ours was only going to be 1.1. So we're actually winning in the sense we're saving $71,000. So in this slide, we're just going to go over the results of everything and break it all down and what it would look like on year 5 for our investors. So year 1 through 5, I added up the down payment, all the payments that we would have made to the owner, the development cost, and the operation cost, which came to 1.2 million. Also take into account that the investor was going to manage this property himself, so that helped a lot with the operation cost. At the also end of year 5, he still needed to pay the owner $563,000. And after adding up all the income for those 5 years, he would have saved $573,000, which he could take that money and pay off the loan and still have $10,000 left over as well. So now the plan is to refinance the property on year 5 as well, which we're able to see the bank would take 1.7 million on an 80% refinance, and he would be able to walk away with 1.36 million. So at the end of the day, after all the debt is paid on year 5, he would have left over $133,000 and cash flow of $152,000 each and every year. So this deal certainly made sense for the owner, where he only had to hold the property, hold the loan for 5 years, and for the investor. He actually outperformed the bank loan itself. So sometimes when a person's asking way overpriced for the property, it can still make sense with coming up with creative ideas like this. If you like this video, let me know in the comments. Thank you.